Good afternoon. It's an honor for me to be here in Boulder. I actually trained here many years when I was racing. I lived here for about 12 years, and a lot of my success was from coming to Boulder and running and cycling and exercising and training in this amazing environment that you have here in this area. And to heighten that, it was studying with Brant and developing, like you said, that connection with nature, so that when I was out there riding up Left Hand Canyon or riding up Mount Evans, it was not only a physical effort, but also, for me, a very spiritual effort to be out there and just looking around going, wow, look at this. You know, I mean, you've probably had those experiences, like Brant asked you, have you had great experiences in nature that have left an impression on your soul? Those are those moments where you go, wow, look at that mountain, or look at that snowfield, or look at that river, or the ocean. And in those moments, we forget about the things that bother us, right? We forget about our credit card debts, our responsibilities at work, that we're late for a meeting, or whatever it is, and we just feel good. And as funny as it sounds, we kind of have to practice being in a good mood, or practice having good experiences in life. As an athlete, that's why we trained. One of the reasons we trained was to get our bodies used to being in good shape, and when we were in good shape, then we could recall that memory of all the amazing workouts we did when we were in races to propel us forward. And the same thing, we can do that with just our emotional state. If we just go out there and have those experiences like Brant talked about, connecting with nature, then we can recall those positive experiences when we're in a tough moment, and it can carry us through. I actually had the good fortune to meet Brant almost 20 years ago at a workshop that he was presenting down in Mexico, and it was on the Pacific Ocean. I had seen an advertisement for this workshop in a magazine, and I was just really attracted to go down there and experience what it was that he was teaching. I had never met Brant before, and I really didn't know what Huichol Indian tradition or shamanism was about, but it was kind of one of those things where, you know, my intellectual brain had no reason why I should go, but somewhere inside I knew that I had to go to see what that was all about. And probably, if you think about it, whether you're talking about your personal life or your business life, a lot of the real transformative moments have come when you have just followed that feeling inside that really has nothing to do with logic, right? You can probably think about a moment like that where you thought, I don't know why I did that, but that was a huge turning point for me in my life. Well, anyway, I went down to Mexico, and he had instructed all of us who were going to be coming to meet at this one area in Puerto Vallarta Airport. And I got there a little bit early, and I was kind of off to the side because it was a 10-day workshop, not a 2-hour lecture, but a 10-day workshop. And I was by myself. I didn't have any moral support with me. You have, you know, it looks like a lot of you have a few relatives or friends with you. So when you came in the room, you knew if it got rough that, you know, you could kind of hunker down with your friends. Well, I was there by myself, and I was watching the other people assemble in this area, and I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I am the only normal person who's going to this workshop. You know that feeling? I'm the only normal person here. And then I saw Brant, and he just kind of looked like just this ordinary guy, you know, and I don't know what I was expecting. If I thought, you know, a shaman was going to have sparks coming out of his hat and eagles circling around, but, you know, he just walked up and was talking to the people very, very warm and friendly, and I thought, oh, brother, what did I get myself into? 10 days down here in Mexico, somebody that I've never met. So anyway, we went out to this amazing place on the Pacific Ocean where the retreat was going to take place. And that evening, Brant did an introduction, and he sang an opening chant, and he drummed, and he rattled. And from the first moment where I heard the drums and the rattles, I just felt like I'd come home to something that I'd been searching for my whole life. And it took me about 7 days, though, for my Western mind to kind of shut off. You know, that part of you that's always analyzing and trying to figure everything out. And, you know, a lot of us certainly make our livings by having a sharp intellect, obviously. You know, fewer and fewer people these days make their livings with physical labor. It's more an intellectual pursuit. So anyway, you know, I was thinking, and I was trying to figure out everything that he was talking about, and you know, you just can't get something that's an experience by thinking about it, can you? You know, like the first time you rode a bike, it probably felt a little different than you thought it would, especially when you fell over that first time. But anyway, you know, the truly great experiences in life are certainly those ones that we experience deep inside. And there was actually something that I read, a research study that just came out the other day that said, if you want to put your money into something for yourself that does something good for you, have it be something that gives you an experience of something, as opposed to going and buying an object. They say, you know, if you buy a new computer or a new TV or whatever it is, a lot of people have buyer's remorse the next day, and then they don't feel good about it and all that kind of stuff. But those things where we buy an experience, maybe we take a vacation to a place like Boulder, Colorado, where we can experience an amazing experience of the mountains or the ocean, those are things that will enrich us for our whole life. But anyway, I met Brant at that workshop, and after about 7 days, my Western mind kind of shut off, and then I was able to just experience these tools that he's talking about, things that he's just shared with you right now, like feeling the love of Mother Earth. You know, you can't intellectualize that, can you? But it's very real. Just like you have love for your children. You can't intellectualize that, but you certainly feel it. And those are deep experiences that have sustained men and women through the ages. And that's a lot of what Fit Soul and Fit Body is about, are tools that will help you connect back to the way that we survived and thrived in ancient times, tools that we can use today in the modern setting to thrive and survive in a very sustainable and responsible way, which certainly is what LOHAS conference is all about. Over the years that I've studied with Brant since then, you know, a lot of the people that come to his workshops, certainly they want to make a positive change in the world, and they're trying to find some tools and some answers to do that. And so, you know, you can see the question brewing in people throughout the workshop, and near the end, you know, he often opens it up for questions, and, you know, one of the hands will go up and they'll say, you know, there's so much going on in the world today that's troublesome. How do we change that? You know, what can we do to change those things that are so troublesome, whether it's the environment or unpredictability in the work environment or just, you know, rough times for people? And his answer is always the same: start with yourself. Change starts here first. And that's really been something that I've thought about a lot and something that I've tried to embody. And it's also a tool that we talk about in our book, which is called Honor Yourself. Honor yourself. What does that mean? Honoring yourself says that I will take the time to go out and have positive experiences in my life. Honoring yourself says I will take the time to eat good, nourishing food for my body so that I can hopefully live a long life. I will take the time to exercise my body so that I am healthy. I will honor myself with good thoughts. You know, it's very easy to slip into some of the negative thoughts or into negative emotions, and Brant will talk about that in a moment, how you can shift those. But honoring yourself says, I will find the positive thoughts that will sustain me and carry me through the tough times to the other side where there's something great waiting for me. So honoring yourself. There's many ways that we can all do that. But for a moment, just think about, you know, we're about halfway through the year 2010, and there may have been a few things that you've wanted to change about the way you honor yourself. So for a moment, just think about one thing you want to do in the next 6 months that you haven't done yet this year to honor your health of your fit soul, your fit body. Think about that for a moment, and then share that one thing. It's much easier to focus on one thing than 100 things, right? I mean, if I went down the laundry list of things that I want to change before I die, you know, it's still long, but I try to just pick off one thing at a time and really focus on that and then go to the next thing. So just think for a moment that one thing that you are going to do to honor yourself, your body and your soul in the next 6 months that maybe you haven't quite done the way you'd wanted to in the first 6 months. And then share that with the people that you're sitting next to.